Hello, hello, hello. Dusk here in Costa Rica. I haven't done updates on the renovations in a couple of weeks. I've updated some videos. You'll see there's an interview I did with Julie Liberty, which was really fun, and we're going to do another one that's a little more oriented towards her concept of sovereignty here in Costa Rica. I kind of went down deep tangents on food foresting and self-reliance and things like that, but we're going to continue. Hopefully at some point she can also visit the community here and visit the Jungle Temple, and we can do a walking tour as well. So I'm excited for that, but thank you guys for tuning in. Also, I just did a downtown Parita update for the end of 2025, the start of 2026, all the businesses that are in town. So if you happen to be seeing my videos and you head into Parita, check out the video I posted. I tried to get as many businesses highlighted as possible, but I noticed after, so for the next one that I do, I'm gonna film from across the street of the businesses I wanna highlight instead of the same side of the street, because then you could see the actual signs and what's going on in the business. And I'll probably do it later in the morning so that the businesses are open on a day that's not a holiday. But I just wanted to update people with what's going on in Parita, because it's growing. Like every few months there's new businesses opening and the town is expanding. So I want people passing through to be able to stop at businesses and knowing what's there, knowing what to expect, so that when you're passing through Parita, you know, oh, this good food spot or this good store and things like that. So anyway, thank you for everybody that either lives in Parita, has moved here, or is passing through, for being a patron and good customer of our wonderful businesses. So to the point of this video, I wanted to update on some of the construction and renovations that I've been doing in the past 2 months. I had a couple of guests here, actually 3 guests over a period of 3 weeks at the end of November, beginning of December. But since then, the past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of work. So this front wall, I did all with that Muro Seco, that Repamax. So my entire property is now finally congruent, like all white. So all of my buildings are white now. My main house, I don't know if you could see through there, the kitchen building. As I turn, this is the sauna building, and then this door right here, right there, is a bathroom. I actually just connected the plumbing down bottom, so the toilet is now functioning, and I got to install a sink in there. We'll call this the outhouse for anybody that wants to do a number 2 in privacy in the future, that's staying at either the guest house or my house and does not want to bomb the house. You know what I mean? Can come out here in the outhouse. So yeah, just making it look nice with all this Muro Seco. At some point, I'm gonna polish it down, which is basically I'm gonna do a second coat over it, and then you use a wet sponge and wipe it, and it kind of gives a nice polished finish. But you can see from the front of the property, it looks really good. Everything's white and clean right now. And you'll see I've got my Jungle Temple sign with Wi-Fi and Starlink, because I allow people to come here and use the internet for free. And also in the restaurant space over there, I am putting a second Starlink unit up for my neighbor Pablo to use. But at some point this coming year, 2026, I'm going to be opening the restaurant space and cafe space, so we will have high-speed internet. I just want to highlight one more thing. Down there in the corner is a small home that's probably going to be like a small store, a little super that I'm going to sell a lot of the products out of, but also it's got a full bathroom in it, a shower and a toilet. So that could also be, you know, we could put a fold out couch in there as well. So it could be part store, part living space for any guests that are staying. But I did that with all the Muro Seco, the Repollo as well, what I call Repamax, which is the brand. So everything on the property is now this congruent white, looking beautiful. I'm very happy with it. And then I've gathered a bunch of these stones that were lining the bottom here. I'm gonna do mortar along the edge of these bigger stones and the wall, and then do a bunch of smaller river stones in there, so it kind of looks like this, and it's nice and congruent with the river stones and the white wall. Anyway, these bigger stones that are right here are going to be going up in the restaurant space as, so I have brick walls in there right now, and there's pillars. So on the sides of the pillars, there's like these gaps where you could run electrical conduit or plumbing conduit. And I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to consolidate all the conduits to above, just above where those pillars are. So where the gaps are that were built into the construction, I'm going to build up on the sides with these larger river stones. So the aesthetic of the restaurant soon. This year, I'll probably start this in the next few months with the mortar and the stones, will be classic brick color and then stones stacked up. So really rustic and nice. It's the Jungle Temple after all. And yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna swap over and I'm gonna start walking over to the cabin and show you the updates in the cabin that I did. All of the repollo, the muro seco, the drywall is done in there now. I just have to finish cutting the doors to the proper size and installing the doors, and then sealing some of the gaps between the windows and like the ceiling, the roof, I guess, with like a polyfoam gap filler. And then other than that, the plumbing's already connected. We just are waiting on the electrician to come do the electric and ready to go. And then also my neighbor Pablo, I've contracted between Sonny and I to make the beds, handmade beds out of teak wood that's harvested here on the land. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. This is a shorter one today because I'm not actually doing work. I'm just highlighting the work, but I'm gonna walk over and show you what's been done in the cabin and actually the restaurant as well. Okay, so pardon the long grass, but I haven't had a chance to be cutting everything because I'm doing so much other work, but that's the new water meter that was installed, and you can see the plumbing coming in. I just gotta cover that up now because they just installed that last week. Cover that up with some dirt, but that line goes here, which is already covered. I buried it already, and the plumbing is all set up to my lovely muro seco drywalled bathroom. This was raw concrete in past videos if you've seen, and now I've done inside and out with the muro seco. And if you're an artist that's watching this or a muralist, we could use some really cool murals on this bathroom. Anyway, can't really get a vision of it there, but here are the finished drywalled bathrooms. Now I just have to install the tile in the floor, but I got everything done with the drywall, so it's, you know, nice and ready to install toilets, sink, and then tile on the floor. And as I step into the restaurant, this is the other one. This will be the men's room, and then that's going to be the ladies' room, the bigger one. And everything's good and drywalled. And then I actually have a lot of the tiles here that I'm going to use. I just got to clean these up. They're dusty. So a lot of these tiles are going to be used for the bathrooms. Anyway, on to the cabin. All right, so here's the cabin. Finished with the drywall. So I left, this is like particle board or plywood of some, it's not plywood, but like sheetrock already. That's already sheetrocked. So I'm just gonna prime that and then paint that whenever we decide to paint the house. But even just this drywall, this white, is a nice color for the house, and it pops. And it looks very similar to as if it was painted already. So I'll just show you a loop around the house. So it's all done. Big windows. Plumbing's installed. You can see I just got to cover that up. I got to move some of these plantain trees elsewhere and then bury that plumbing line, but everything's already connected. Hoping not to run into any big snakes. So yeah, all done, both sides. Let me just get the, I guess what would be like the front side. This is the kind of jungle yard. I got tons of plantain and banana variations. This is a guava tree. That's the chicken coop there. Yeah, and then you got the front side here, or the view side of the house, the farm side. You can see the doors ready to get installed. I've just got to stain them and cut them properly. So I'm going to cut them to size. I've got to install framing here. So Pablo's going to help me with that because he's a skilled woodworker. So we're going to do that in the next week or two. We're going to frame the doors. But I got both of them ready to go. This door is already framed, which is nice. So we just got to frame one, cut the doors to size, stain them, and then install them. I've already got the hinges here. Good to go. And then you can see the walls are all done. The guest room looking good. All muro secoed. Bathroom done. Just got to install the lighting when the electrician gets here. There is a shower head in there and a toilet and a sink. So just got to get kind of finishing touches, like the, what do you call it? The faucet for the sink, and then this is the master bedroom. So looking good. And then you'll see that there's a couple of gaps up there. So that's what I need that polyfoam gap filler for. I actually did it here. I just gotta kind of trim this down a little bit, and you can see it just kind of folds out, pops out, and gets nice and smooth, and then I'll sand it down and file it down. But I didn't know how to use this at first, so I kind of overdid it, and you can see there's all the extra that I've been popping off. So I will be much more mindful with the next one that I do. And then what I will do is once that's filled, I'll come back in with some Muro Seco thicker, and I'll cover that up so it looks just like the wall and you don't even notice there's the foam there. So anyway, now you know my plans. Dusk is setting in, the sun is setting, so we're losing our light, but that is the guest house, and you can see this stuff is nice, and this will scrape off very easily. So I'll just get that wet sponge and wipe all that off, and then once I do a second coat on this, it'll smooth out and kind of look like a polished finish. And I've got, I think, 8 or 9 more bags of the repollo to do that with. And at some point, I'll probably get river stones and do mortar all along the bottom with them as well, just to continue the beautiful aesthetic. Then you can see I've got this framed out here. You probably saw those bags of concrete in the restaurant. So I'm gonna build a nice patio, front patio here at some point that's gonna walk up to the chicken coop. So Sunny, her kids, and anybody that might be renting this at some point will be able to go harvest eggs every morning. There's gonna be a little kitchenette in the front corner, or they could, you know, whomever it is could bring the eggs over to the kitchen building and make themselves some eggs. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm just exiting, closing this gate because I set up this gate by the chicken coop because I've lost 4 chickens in the past 3 months to coyotes that have been finding their way down through the forest to get the chickens. So life in the jungle, life on a farm. Good night. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all have a happy 2026 and all your dreams come true. They're coming true for me, and much of that is because of your spiritual support that you send me through the ether, and I'm eternally grateful for that. But also some of you have reached out and you want to join the community, so thank you for that as well. I'm excited because this is the year that the guest house is finished. I got someone else visiting in February who might want to build a little space on the property. Somebody that was here in December might want to build something on the property as well. So the Ecovillage is coming into form. It won't just be me and the chickens and the dogs anymore. So Pura Vida, I love you all. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and send people to Costa Rica. It's the best country in the world, hands down.